Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce married. The wedding details you missed. Warning: major spoilers. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially married. They tied the knot on July 3, 2026, at Madison Square Garden in New York City, in a wedding that was deliberately kept extremely private despite having around 1,000 guests. But since the ceremony, more details have emerged, from Taylor's custom Dior gown and Travis' wedding look to the unusual wedding party, surprise performances, personal vows, and the hidden details built into the venue. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding may have been one of the biggest celebrity events of 2026, but remarkably, the public still knows surprisingly little about what happened inside Madison Square Garden. That's partly because the couple went to extraordinary lengths to protect the ceremony. But as guests have gradually spoken about the night, and as Taylor and Travis have been seen wearing their wedding rings, a much clearer picture of the celebration has emerged. And some of the details are far more interesting than fans initially realized. 1. The wedding was at Madison Square Garden. The first major detail was the location itself. Taylor and Travis chose Madison Square Garden in New York City for their July 3rd wedding. That might sound like an unusual choice for a private ceremony, but the venue allowed the couple to transform a huge public arena into something completely different. Inside, the garden was reportedly transformed into a romantic, secret garden-style setting with greenery, trees, carpets, and canopies. Instead of feeling like an arena, guests walked into a completely redesigned environment. And there was a practical reason for choosing such a massive location. The venue gave the couple much greater control over security and access than a conventional wedding location might have. 2. Around 1,000 guests attended. Despite all the secrecy, this wasn't a tiny wedding. Reports put the guest count at around 1,000 people. Taylor and Travis invited a mixture of family, longtime friends, musicians, actors, and NFL personalities. Among those connected to the celebration were Ed Sheeran, Selena Gomez, Jennifer Lopez, Sabrina Carpenter, Brad Pitt, Tom Hanks, Bradley Cooper, and Dakota Johnson, along with numerous football stars and people from Travis' career. That's what makes the privacy surrounding the wedding so remarkable. 1,000 people attended, yet relatively few authentic details escaped immediately. 3. There were no traditional bridesmaids or groomsmen. One of the most personal decisions was the wedding party. Taylor and Travis didn't follow the traditional bridesmaids and groomsmen setup. Instead, Taylor's brother Austin Swift served as her man of honor, while Travis' brother Jason Kelce served as best man. That decision made the ceremony much more family-focused. And it also meant that two of the most important people in their lives stood beside them during the ceremony. For Taylor, Austin's role was particularly meaningful because he has been part of her life and career since childhood. For Travis, having Jason beside him connected the wedding to his family and his football life. 4. Adam Sandler officiated the wedding. Another detail that surprised almost everyone was the officiant. Adam Sandler married Taylor and Travis. Sandler is a longtime friend of the couple and apparently brought plenty of humor to the ceremony. Kansas City Chiefs coach Andy Reid later revealed that Sandler gave the newlyweds some simple marriage advice. Keep kissing. Reid described Sandler's performance as phenomenal and said the ceremony contained plenty of humor. It's an unexpectedly perfect choice for a wedding that reportedly balanced emotional moments with a relaxed atmosphere. 5. Taylor's wedding dress was custom Dior. Taylor's wedding dress was one of the most closely guarded secrets before the ceremony. She ultimately wore a custom Christian Dior haute couture gown, designed by Dior creative director Jonathan Anderson. The design included a long veil and train and was created specifically for Taylor. Anderson worked closely with both Taylor and Travis on their wedding looks. Taylor also wore Cartier jewelry and custom Christian Louboutin shoes. Travis also wore a custom Christian Dior look, meaning the couple's outfits were created as part of the same overall fashion vision. 6. Their vows were surprisingly long. One of the sweetest details to emerge is that Taylor and Travis reportedly wrote their own vows. And these weren't short, celebrity-style vows. Sources said each of them spoke for approximately 20 minutes. That means the ceremony wasn't simply a quick exchange of traditional promises. They apparently took significant time to talk directly to each other about their relationship and their future. Guests reportedly described the vows as personal and emotional. Considering how closely their relationship has been followed publicly, this may have been one of the few moments where they could speak honestly to each other without performing for the outside world. 7. Paul McCartney performed. The entertainment was obviously going to be enormous. One of the biggest surprises was Paul McCartney. He reportedly performed "I Want to Hold Your Hand" during the celebration. And the symbolism couldn't have been more appropriate for a wedding. The Beatles' legend performing a classic love song for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is the kind of celebrity wedding moment that sounds almost fictional. But that's what reportedly happened. 8. Stevie Nicks was also part of the celebration. Paul McCartney wasn't the only legendary musician involved. Stevie Nicks was also part of the musical lineup. The presence of Nicks made the entertainment even more remarkable because Taylor has long admired her. The wedding, therefore, wasn't just a private family event. It became a gathering of some of the biggest names in music, entertainment, and sports. 9. Madison Square Garden became a secret garden. Perhaps the most interesting visual detail was the transformation of the venue. Instead of leaving Madison Square Garden looking like an arena, the couple reportedly turned it into something resembling an enchanted or secret garden. There were towering trees, greenery, carpets, canopies, and garden-inspired areas. One report described the reception as having a rose garden-inspired atmosphere, while another described the setting as a whimsical secret garden. That detail is particularly fitting because Taylor and Travis announced their engagement in a flower-filled garden in 2025. 10. Taylor and Travis have kept the photos private. Perhaps the biggest detail fans are still waiting for is the official wedding album. So far, very few authentic images from inside the wedding have surfaced, despite the huge number of guests. Taylor and Travis deliberately kept the event closely guarded. That privacy continued even after the ceremony. Neither has released a complete collection of official wedding photographs. And when Travis finally spoke publicly about the wedding in August, he didn't reveal every intimate detail. Instead, he simply called it the best night of my life. That tells you something about how seriously the couple has taken their privacy. 11. Their wedding rings are now public. Although the ceremony itself remains private, the marriage is no longer a secret. Taylor has now been photographed wearing her wedding band alongside her engagement ring. Travis has also been seen wearing his wedding band during Kansas City Chiefs activities. The rings are essentially the first major visual confirmation of their married life after the ceremony. And that creates an interesting contrast. The couple is willing to show that they're married. They simply aren't revealing everything that happened on their wedding night. 12. Travis' reaction says it all. The most revealing comment may have come from Travis himself. When asked about the wedding in August, he called it the best night of his life. For someone who has played in multiple Super Bowls and experienced some of the biggest moments in professional football, that's an extraordinary statement. It suggests that despite the enormous scale of the celebration, what mattered most to Travis was the personal significance of finally marrying Taylor. Final answer. So, what wedding details did fans miss from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's marriage? The couple married on July 3, 2026, at Madison Square Garden, surrounded by approximately 1,000 guests. But the ceremony was far more personal than the enormous venue might suggest. There were no traditional bridesmaids or groomsmen. Taylor's brother Austin was her man of honor, while Travis' brother Jason was his best man. Adam Sandler officiated, bringing humor and personal advice to the ceremony. Taylor and Travis reportedly wrote their own 20-minute vows, making the ceremony considerably more intimate than a typical celebrity wedding. Taylor wore a custom Christian Dior haute couture gown designed by Jonathan Anderson, while Travis also wore custom Dior. Taylor completed her look with Cartier jewelry and Christian Louboutin shoes. The entertainment was equally extraordinary. Paul McCartney performed, reportedly singing "I Want to Hold Your Hand," while Stevie Nicks was also part of the musical celebration. And inside Madison Square Garden, the couple transformed the arena into a romantic garden-like world filled with greenery, trees, carpets, and canopies. The biggest surprise, however, may be what hasn't been revealed. Despite having around 1,000 guests, Taylor and Travis have managed to keep most of the ceremony itself private. There are still no complete official photographs or videos publicly available. Instead, fans have been left with scattered details from guests, Taylor's wedding ring, Travis' wedding band, and a few carefully revealed stories. And perhaps that's exactly what Taylor and Travis wanted. Their relationship has been watched by millions of people since they began dating. Their engagement became global news. Their wedding could easily have become the biggest celebrity spectacle of the decade. Instead, they created something enormous for the people inside the room, while keeping the most personal moments for themselves. And after finally speaking about it, Travis gave perhaps the simplest explanation possible. He called marrying Taylor the best night of his life. For all the celebrities, music, Dior couture, and Madison Square Garden grandeur, that may be the one detail that